You're showing us the way. You're showing us the way.
Happy Saturday, my absolute favorite song. I am Kimberly Holmes Ross from Evanston Cradle to Career and Advocates for Action. And we are here this morning with Mrs. Kandi Corbbins and from iKandi Hair Studio and iKandi Academy. If you missed us last week, week before, we were off last week on a little hiatus. If you missed us, we were here talking about where hair meets confidence, taking care of your hair. Your hair is your crown and glory. So we had some really great stuff. So if you missed us last week, don't miss us this week. So please take this opportunity to share this video. I'm having a little problem sharing, so I'm going to go back here and start sharing. But if you're watching on the Cradle to Career channel, please share this video and let people know that we are on this morning and we are excited to have you. Welcome, Kandi.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kim. Hi. Last week, like she said, we did a lot of talking about hair with children and how, learning how to take care of your hair, how it can make you feel. And so this week, I thought it might be cool if we talked about hair as a career. Some people may think, if you go to cosmetology school or barbering school, that your job is going to be a stylist. But there are so many other opportunities that are involved if you get into the hair industry. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the skills that it takes to be a successful person in the hair industry, as well as some jobs that are available if you do get into the industry. And it's actually pretty interesting. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Bear with me. And I'm going to, I have a slide prepared for you guys. So just give me 2 secs. Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this because hair is a great industry. And it feels like we don't have as much access to the vocational piece of it, like we did back in the day. Even back in the day in the high school, you were able to take classes or pair it with Truman or maybe it was Pivot Point while you were still in high school. So I'm hoping some of those avenues come back.
Absolutely. I'm there with you. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, no. Technical person, come help. Okay.
No worries. No worries.
Screen.
Go back to the Zoom.
Okay.
We get a little technical help from our youngins. We're always happy to have them around. They're always my technical saviors. But while we're waiting, we're here with iKandi Hair Academy. I sure wish there was an academy around when I was growing up, or even my daughter was growing up. I think it's so important for women of color to be able to celebrate their hair, learn about their hair, and feel good about taking care of their hair. It's not an easy journey. So we're happy to have people like Kandi to help us through that.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, we're here. We're waiting for you. We are, again, excited to have you. We appreciate our Facebook family who are out there watching with us. And this morning, we're always appreciative to Mr. Mann and Radio La Difference, who has hosted us now for over a year. So we are excited about that, and we will have some great stuff coming up. Here we go.
All right. Okay, when I wear Tiana, I can't see it now. Where do I go to see it now?
You just push it like you normally.
And if you have any questions for Kandi, go ahead and put them in the chat. I see Ms. Wedlow is watching with us. Good morning, Ms. Wedlow. Thank you for always tuning in.
All right. Yay.
Here we are.
Okay, here we go. So, like I said, today we are iKandi Hair Studio and iKandi Academy. We are located at 1705 Central Street in Evanston. And when we work with the children, this is a part of our mission statement. We want to strengthen self-esteem of girls through their hair identity. Our philosophy is that we believe that when a child feels pride in their appearance, it can help with the rest of their life experiences. And by feeling empowered to provide self-care, they may be empowered to conquer all of the world's challenges. And it may seem like something as simple as hair is not such a big deal, but the way we feel about ourselves so many times can just can fuel the rest of our day, the rest of our lives, the things that we think we can accomplish. So we really think it's important. So today I want to just discuss with you guys some out-of-the-box careers that somebody could have, with a cosmetology or barbering license, and some of the soft skills that are needed to be successful in this industry. So soft skills, a lot of people don't even know what that is. I obtained a lot of soft skills because I went to Family Focus as a kid. I was raised by my grandparents and my great-grandparents, and soft skills are some of the things that are the intangibles, like things that are attributes that will enable you to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people. Things that we don't even think about that some of the new generation does not have. Relationship building. As a stylist, as a barber, you are someone who is touching people all day long. The human touch creates a bond between people. And when I tell you that I can connect some people with other people, I mean, everyone gets their hair done. When I was a child, my grandfather always used to tell me, if you ever go somewhere new and you lose your way, go to your nearest barber or beauty shop, because they will know everyone, because everyone gets their hair done. The pharmacist, the doctor, the lawyer, the welder, the engineer, everyone goes to the same place to get their hair done. So it's really important to have relationship building skills. How do you interact with other people? How do you relate to other people? How can you get along with other people? How can you do conflict resolution? All of this is important as a hairstylist. You wouldn't think of it that way, but sometimes you may have a client that comes in that's having a bad day, and maybe they may want to take it out on you. Well, you have to know that the fact that the client is so disgruntled has nothing to do with the fact that you maybe have wet their shirt, or maybe you need them to wait 5 minutes before you can take them into your chair. So you have to know how to relate to people in order to be a successful stylist. And the reason why these soft skills are so important is not just in the hair industry, it's in life in general. These are lessons that will help you become a great hairstylist or barber, but also just help you in life in general. Problem solving and decision making. How do we get together a schedule? How do we fit people in when you have a little bit of time? How do you decide what days you want to be off? How do you decide when you'd like to take a vacation? How do you decide what days you're going to work, what hours you're going to work? How do you figure out what kinds of people you want to market yourself to? So these are all really important decisions in becoming a really great hairstylist. You don't just pick up a comb and a brush and become a good hairstylist. You have to have all these other interpersonal skills that make it work. Influence. I always try to be a good influence on people. I always try to market people when I know that someone is doing a great job at something. Hey, I got baked goods from this place. It's really great. You should go and try it. Hey, I know someone else who does this. I'm booked right now, but you could go to this person and do it. I really love this product. When I use this product, it does this for me. You should try it yourself. So influence is really important, but influence is also, it's a responsibility as well, because you have to, let's see, how do I put this? You have to do a good job with it. You can't take it for granted, and you can't misuse your trust with someone. Communication. Now, communication, this one is the biggest one, I think, out of all of these skills, because if you do not know how to communicate, then you will not be able to work with people. You have to be able to talk to people, and you have to be able to listen. Communication is mostly about listening. And if you can't do that, then you will not be an effective communicator. That's really important. And that's some of the things that people learn when they come here, that, you know, it's not just about being able to speak to somebody. It's about being able to listen to what they're saying. Sometimes when people say things, I'm on air, Mom. Sometimes when people say things, they don't realize, get out. I'm sorry, my mom just came to visit. She's now leaving, and I'm back to focusing on the task at hand. So effective communication is mostly about listening. It is really important to hear what a client is saying. Sometimes my clients will come in and say, hey, I really want to get box braids, but perhaps they don't like tension on their hair. Perhaps they can't sit for 4 hours. Perhaps they have scalp issues. Perhaps they have a job that doesn't allow them to have braids. So you have to listen to all of these things, because sometimes someone may say something, but really, if you listen, they may be saying something else. Drive and energy. In order to be in this business and lots of other businesses, you have to have drive. You have to persevere. You have to show up all the time, even when you don't want to. You have to blaze your path. You have to have energy. You have to be able to come into a room and shift the mood. You want to make sure that everyone is feeling good every day. You also want to make sure that you match the energy of the business. You know, people want to be around you if you have good energy. People don't realize sometimes, especially kids, you know, sometimes when you're in a mood and you're a little bit down, or you're just, you know, in a funk a little bit, you can pass that on to other people. And no one wants a stylist who's always in a bad mood. Organization and planning. This is another one that's really important. When you go to cosmetology school, there's a term that you learn called stacking. And stacking means when you are providing a service and the person is in your chair, you're working with them. And when they are processing, like let's say, for instance, you're doing a color, you place the color on their hair and then you need 30 minutes for it to process. So you're going to sit them someplace else while they're processing. Well, you have 30 minutes of time that you could be getting income. So that's called stacking. But you have to be organized and you have to plan ahead in order to stack. And hairstylists who are able to stack are able to make the most of their hourly rate. Whereas if you just sat down someplace while your color was processing, you wouldn't be making income during that time. But in the 30 minutes that it takes a color to process, I can do a haircut. So that means that my chair is being operated on the entire day. So that means that I don't have very many minutes of the day where I do not have any income coming in, which is the best way to maximize your time as a stylist. But you can't do any of that if you're not organized and you don't plan in advance. So you need to have some way of keeping track of your appointments. You have to stay on time. You have to be on time. And you have to know who's coming in and what they're getting. So you have to keep a record of what services you've promised to someone, because that way when people walk in, you're ready for them and you can also do your stacking. The technical part of it. Well, this one is, you know, really simple, but you really do need to hone your craft. I spend a lot of hours on things that I'm not good at. I tend to take a lot of time with mannequins and I work on things. When I'm not comfortable doing something, if there's a new technique that I don't understand, I take a class with someone who's proficient in it, and then I spend lots of hours of my own time working on the technical portions of it. What are the angles I need to do this haircut? What are the colors that balance on a color wheel for hair color? The newest braid, what is the type of extensions that you need to do this? What are the hand movements that you need to do this? What are the angles of elevation? The technical portion of it is also fun if you love what you do, because you're using your hands to create something new, but you have to put in the time. Repetition, repetition, repetition is what you say, is what we say in cosmetology education. You have to repeat things several times in order to be able to accomplish them. It's just like anything else. If you don't put the work in, you will not get the results that you need. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the professions that you could do in cosmetology. And you may be surprised by some of these things that are available if you went to cosmetology or barbering school, or even nail techs and makeup artists. You know, they're all under the umbrella of cosmetology as well.
Candy, before we hit the slide, and this is such good stuff, and all these soft skills, and even the skills that you talked about, being a stylist, all of them are transferable skills. These skills are skills for life. And I just, I appreciate you breaking all these skills down, because anything that you want to do and want to do well, you have to practice. You have to, find you a class, find you a mentor, find you somebody who knows, what they're doing and help you do it. All these things, and this is for our listening audience and for people to pass on, that you can take with you for life and along the way. And I just want to stop and ask you, what are some of the best soft skills? I've had a lot of family focused kids on this show, but what are some of the best soft skills that you've learned, that you have taken now with you in life?
I will say probably my ability to communicate. I definitely learned, I'm a talker, and I learned at an early age that sometimes you have to be quiet and listen. And I think that's one of the things that I picked up along the way, is listening to people, because sometimes listening involves your eyes, your ears, and what people say sometimes is not necessarily what they're actually saying. So I learned to watch body language, to also just learn a little bit about people, like when they're talking indirectly, maybe not about the subject that we're speaking on. So communication is definitely one of the soft skills that I picked up early on. Also, I think the organizational portion of it is really important. Organizing your time. I'm not even talking about just like your things. Organizing your time is a skill that is lacking a lot of times. And I remember as a kid, my grandmother would always tell me, being late, I forget the phrase that she used, but whatever it was, being late was bad. And she would always get to places early. And she would say, you have to pay attention to how long it takes you to do everything. That is so important, because if you do not manage your time, then people won't trust you. So that was another thing that I learned also. And my word is my bond is something that my grandparents, my mom and dad, my great-grandparents, they were very big on keeping your word. If you said you were going to do something, then you need to do it. And that's how I am. And as a stylist, as a human being, with my children, just in life in general, I do not like to make promises that I do not keep. And I tend not to do that. My trustworthiness, or my, what is the word I'm looking for? You can count on me. If I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do it.
I love it. And this phrase is, if you're on time, you're late.
Yes, that was it. Yes.
If you're on time, you're late. And then those are the words I try to live by. And your word is your bond. That's all you have in the end. So you need people to trust you. So thank you for that. Thank you for talking about building community wherever you are, to try to build community and build relationships, because those are so important as we move and navigate through life. Okay, let's learn about these careers.
I was just gonna add on to the community portion of it, and making a community wherever you are. I also remember some of the other things that my grandparents used to say, and they sometimes would say, it's not always what you know, but also who you know. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people know a lot of things, but if people know you and they know that you also know these things, then sometimes they'll give you a shot. Sometimes you'll get the job because people have seen you, in other aspects of things, and they've seen, it's not just your word saying that you can do something. They've actually seen you do these things, and you've, built trust with people, and they know the way that you operate. So sometimes it isn't what you know, but who you know. But you also have to know things. So the technical part of it is definitely important. But sometimes, the technical part is not everything. And so it's not always what you know, but who you know and how you know people. Do people know you in a good light? Have you created a relationship with people so that they know that you're the person that you say you are?
Your advocate sister, Taisha Nix, said this should be called professional development. She's watching and said, this is good stuff. Thank you for watching. All right, we're going to get to these out-of-the-box careers. They look fantastic.
So the first one is a fashion show stylist. I don't know if people realize, but, when you are in the hair industry and you learn all these elements of design, they don't only go with hair. I mean, elements of design cross the board, symmetry and balance and color proportion. It's not just in the hair industry, it's all over. So you could be a a fashion show stylist. That means runway modeling. There's, what's that, the Met Gala, avant-garde ones. And, all you need to be is artistic, a risk taker, and a team player, and coupled with some of the soft skills that we spoke with earlier, these kind of careers can earn you, big dollars, but also get community in lots of different places. You can put yourself into different circles that, might make you be able to create new positions for other people. Maybe you can teach kids how to do this. Maybe you can start a school and teach other kids how to do this. So I'm always looking to build on whatever it is I know and move it to the next level. Editorial advertising stylist. You can have fun creating everything from girl next door to, crazy looks. Are you versatile? Are you organized? Are you well-rounded? You can do, this is like, this would be things like magazine shoots and product shoots. And when you go on these shoots, it's actually pretty fun. I've done a commercial before, and you go there and you talk to the director, and they'll send you what their ideas are for what they want their product to look like, or what they want, the ad to look like. And then you get to use your creative mind also to work with them to decide on how to get their product into the forefront. You can become a cosmetology educator or instructor like me. Think of the teachers that you had in your life that impacted you. And that's one of the reasons that I like to do it, because I really think that when you give back, it makes you feel good, but also it makes you better at whatever you do. If I can teach you how to do something, that means I have really mastered this subject. And so I love teaching people because it almost tests my boundaries and my knowledge on the things that I know. So are you a good student? Are you skilled at communicating? Can you be patient? Are you able to work with a variety of people? These are also part of soft skills, right? Communication. Can you get along with other people? Have you retained the information? That goes with technical. Are you a good student? So all these things are still all interconnected. And what can cosmetology teachers do? You can work in a salon. You could work for a school. You could open your own school. You could also teach people who are already licensed to do things and help them further their knowledge. I hire people to teach me all the time. And I also teach people. So it's kind of like a revolving circle. We all rely on each other for information. We all have different gifts. So it's really cool to be able to use different ones. A salon development partner. You can be the person in both worlds. You can go in and help people make salons. There used to be a TV show, Tabitha somebody or other, and she used to go into salons. It was called the Makeover, Tabitha Salon Takeover. And the premise of the show was she would go on into a salon and put cameras in there, watch how the salon operated, and then she would come in and give them feedback. Hey, you guys may do better if you tried it this way. Or maybe if you guys did it this way, it would work out better for you. And so it's almost like being a consultant in a salon. And it's really rewarding because you're helping people who maybe didn't have that point of view that you had. Are you interested in business and beauty? Are you passionate about traveling? And here we go again. Are you skilled in working with people? So it seems like this is one of the things that is the biggest soft skill, is being able to work with others. Stylist for film and theater. Now this one, I have a few friends who are in this industry, and this is actually, they actually have a union for stylists. I know a woman who's a nail tech, and she's a union stylist, and she does Vin Diesel's nails. She makes like buku amounts of money to travel the world and literally file this man's nails. but she started off, at the bottom, and she worked in the union, and she started off being a production assistant and worked her way up, but she honed her skills to the point where he doesn't want anybody else filing his nails. So there are makeup artists in this industry, there's hairstylists in this industry, nail technicians, massage therapists. All these movie sets still need all these people to make their looks go. Think about the movie Avatar. Those beautiful blue creatures were just people who had on prosthetics and makeup. Someone actually had to do that. Think about all the cool hairstyles in the Hunger Games. Somebody created those hairstyles. Somebody applied those wigs. Why would somebody want to do this? You're using your creativity. You're transforming regular people into these beautiful characters that was in someone else's mind that you were able to bring to life. There's no greater feeling than being someone who creates something and brings something to life for someone else. Are you versatile? Are you creative? Are you willing to work a lot of hours? Because those sets work long hours and you have to deal with lots of personalities. And let's face it, we're talking about celebrities who have been pampered for a long time. So you have to be able to make them happy as well as make the director happy and do your job well. Do you want to be a salon owner or a manager? Do you want to be a boss? Are you somebody who's able to take charge? Can you run a company? Can you use your leadership skills? Do you know the ins and outs of running a business? My background is actually in business. I always did hair on the side for fun because I loved it, but I was always interested in running a business. When I was a kid, we had lemonade stands. I liked to do different things and I always liked earning money. My grandfather owned a business. My mom is a business owner. So I grew up around people who did lots of entrepreneurial things. And it always, was of interest to me. I always liked the idea of creating a way to make my own money. What do you need to do this? You need to be perseverant. You need to be good with people. You need to be a hard worker and you need to be able to manage your money. Those are some really important things, for this industry. You could be an artistic director for a salon brand. Maybe you're not quite as interested in the business aspect of it. That's okay. Maybe your brain is totally creative and you think in colors. That's great because someone needs you to make their salon look pretty. Someone needs you to decide where the plants go in the salon. Someone needs to decide, what's going to be at eye level, how your products are labeled. What color are the products going to be? What color are the walls going to be? What makes people happy? What are going to bring people in? What kind of events do you need to have in order to draw a crowd? These are all things that are really important for salons to, for salons to be successful. I'm not as great on this side, but I have friends who are really good at this and they lend a hand when I need it. Are you trend conscious? Are you always the one who knows what the newest fashion thing is? Well, people are drawn to that and people need that, that's important because some people who are interested in being the latest and newest and greatest would want to go into a salon that has the latest, newest, greatest. Again, this communication thing, are you good at communicating? Can you multitask? Some people can't. Are you able to do 3 or 4 things at one time? Or are you just a one-track minder? If you're either one of those, there is something in this industry for you. Aveda professional. So this is just using Aveda as an example, but there are lots of different products. The product that we use here in our salon is called Influence. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to teach the product knowledge? Sometimes we host classes where we teach people how to use the foam that we use, or we teach people how to use the tea tree system if you have dandruff on your scalp and you need to learn how to get rid of it. Sometimes we work with the edge control because we braid with it. You can use this in order to do lots of different things. You'll travel the world and teach people the new techniques using this specific product. You'll also, in doing that, it makes people want to purchase it. So you'll have part sales in your under your belt. So you don't even realize you're a salesman, but really the only thing it takes to be a salesperson is to be able to what? Communicate and teach people. Because if you can effectively teach someone how to use your product and they like the way you do it, then they're going to want the product. The product is going to sell itself. So you'll be able to represent all these different brands or your own, You'll be able to educate people on the new trends and techniques that are for whatever product it is. Like I said, you could even have your own product. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to teach? Are you excellent at motivating and communicating? Do you want to be a platform artist? Now, this one is a really fun job. I don't know if any of you have ever been to hair shows, but when you go to a hair show, there are different stages set up and there's loud music going and people are dressed really colorfully and people have like the latest haircuts and hairstyles. And there's always someone with a microphone attached to their head performing a hairstyle like it's on Broadway. I mean, their arms are flying, there are costumes, hairstyles are in fantasies. You may see helicopters on people's heads. You may have rainbow hairstyles. This is a really fun job. If you like to party and you like to be creative, platform artistry is for you. I mean, can you perform on stage in front of people? Are you really great at whatever skill you have? Because that's going to be the other thing. You have to be on point. Can you teach? Can you translate your knowledge to other people where they understand? Are you quick on your feet? You'll need to answer questions. Random people will come up to you and ask you, what is this? How did you do this? What angle are you holding this up at? What hair are you using to do this? You have to know your stuff. Are you well-spoken? Can people understand you? Are you comfortable with being in the center of attention? If you're shy, maybe you don't want to be a platform artist. Maybe you prep for the platform artist. Maybe you're the one in the back who's getting the hair already. Maybe you're the one in the back that's getting the clothing already. Are you knowledgeable in your skills? Like I said, this is where the technical part comes in handy. If you can learn what it is that you need to do and be the best at it, then you're going to do a great job in this industry, being a platform artist. You get to travel, meet new people. I hear the money is really great. And you go around to all these different cities and meet new people, and you're always sharing your craft with them. You could be a celebrity stylist. I mean, let's face it, all of these celebrities with all these different hairdos all the time, they need someone to maintain it. Do you crave the spotlight? Do you want to consider going down the path doing this? What are the perks of doing this? Doing hair and makeup for the biggest names across the globe? Let's just begin. Do you want to go to the Grammys? Do you want to travel to different countries? The downside to it is if, you are a homebody, maybe this isn't for you, but maybe you like traveling the world. Maybe you like all the lights and the glitz and the glam. Well, if you do, celebrity personal stylist is for you. But if you're going to do this, you have to have everything from the ground up, right? You have to have all those soft skills that we spoke about, your technical stuff. You have to be on point because these people are in front of cameras, they are on stages, they are in movies, they're doing premieres, they're on talk shows. So your work is being displayed and you have to be on time. You have to manage your time. You have to do what you say you're going to do. You have to show up. You have to persevere. You have to be timely. You have to work when you don't want to work. If you're sick, you still have to show up. Are you flexible? On Tuesday, maybe you guys were supposed to do the Wendy Williams show, but now we have to fly to Paris. Can you pack your bag and go to Paris without having a bad attitude? You have to think about all these things. Who do you want to be in the industry? So that's the end of my slide. So I just wanted to know if anybody had any questions, or Kim, if you wanted to, ask me anything about the industry or.
Man, it was such a good, overview. I'm feeling like every junior high and high school person needs to hear these kind of options. We tend to wait till later to start thinking about, things I'd like to be or things I could see myself in. Celebrity stylist always is, attractive. And I'm so glad you put something like, be patient. Now you can't just go and be doing Beyonce's hair, right away. You're going to start and do a lot of grunt work to get there. But if you have a vision, and today you put forth a lot of vision for us. So I appreciate that.
One thing that they say is that if you do want to be like a celebrity stylist, or if you want to be one of those union stylists that works on movie sets and things like that, they suggest that you spend a lot of hours in the industry first. Get your cosmetology license, start working. They suggest that you work in different salons in different locations. So they don't want you working in like just Chicago. They want you to work in Chicago and then move to LA and then go to Kentucky and go to all these different places, because when you're in the Chicagoland area, there tends to be like a Midwest look, right? And when you're in on the East Coast, like in New Jersey, everybody wears big hair, right? So you learn how to do the roller sets and brush them out. And then, people wear big hair. But if you bring that to the Midwest, it's like, we don't really do that. So they suggest that you move around and that you work a lot, and that also that you are that you become an assistant in a lot of different places, because you have to, not only do you have to hone your skills, but you have to learn how to manage the demands that come along with that business. So if you are an assistant, you're underneath someone who wants, their name to be, their reputation to be upheld. So you have to do exactly what they say, and you have to produce exactly how their vision is, not just your own vision. So they suggest that you do that before you even apply to become one of those stylists. And when you first apply, they recommend that you are first a production assistant, which means you run around and get people coffee. You do front work, you clean up on set. You're the first one there, the last one to leave, because then they can get a feel for your dedication, and it helps you get into the union. And then at some point, once you're still working and honing your skills, you have been able to create a portfolio, which is something we didn't talk about in this, but portfolios are also really important because they showcase your work and show what you're able to do, in the time that you're able to do it.
And in the times we're living in, it's easier to build a portfolio because you always got your phone, you're always taking pictures. If this is something, you can take pictures of your work if that's something you're doing, and begin to build. Even if, you're 12, you're starting to braid, you can start taking those pictures and build up on it.
Yeah, and people sometimes like to see portfolios like that because you can see the growth in someone, because you know that they're not just staying stagnant, that they're on their way up. So if you look at someone's portfolio and they have pictures from, 5 years ago or when they first started, and they have a haircut from when they first started versus now, and you can see the difference in the cleanliness of the lines, or if they're braiding and you can see the difference between the symmetry and their stitching. These are all things that are going to make someone say, oh my God, this person really works on their craft. They really care about what they're doing. They're really trying to get better. That, that makes you a better stylist and a better candidate for some of these jobs.
Well, iKandi Academy, you do it all. How can people access you in these classes? I'm really hoping on a larger scale, teens can begin to hear these kind of career options. Are you working with maybe Youth Job Center or any of the places where kids are starting to begin to think about careers?
If Youth Job Center is watching, or if Evanston Township High School is watching, I'm available. I'm here. I have curriculum. I'm driven. I want to do this. I want to help our students. And I think that I would be an asset to these places. So the answer to your question is no, but I would love to do these things. So definitely. If you guys are watching, if you're interested, I'm available. How can other people reach us? iKandiHairStudio.com. We do classes once a month, usually on a Sunday. We start advertising the month before. August, we won't have any because I'll be traveling, but September we'll start back up. I'm also going to be teaching on, oh man, I wish I knew the name of this school is out. OutSchool. It's a platform for students who are homeschooled. It's called OutSchool. We're going to be starting, I'm going to be starting hair courses with them in the fall. So in September, I'll be starting some hair courses. So you can go to OutSchool also if you'd like to sign your kids up. And this is virtual. It's not in person for this one.
Well, congratulations on that. That's exciting. And the answer to the High School and Youth Job Center is not yet. We're not going to say no. We're going to say not yet.
Yeah, I like that answer. Not yet.
Not yet.
Absolutely.
iKandi, we appreciate you. This has been a wonderful series. Thank you so much. We will be back August 14th with our new advocates for our community coffee. So we're going to be on a bit of a hiatus. We may be playing reruns. I got to talk to Mr. Mann about that. But until then, Facebook family, Radio La Difference family, stay safe. Have a happy Saturday, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Kandi.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
children, small kids at that, and my grandfather, my mother, my family.
I work in restaurants. I felt like not only around my coworkers and keeping customers safe, I felt that was important.
To keep myself healthy and also part of a larger Evanston community, and to keep my friends, family, and neighbors safe.
I serve in a capacity in a company that specializes in early childhood and early Head Start, and a lot of the children around educators. So I am taking this shot for them.
I am a part-time caretaker of my 84-year-old mother, who is obviously in the category of most vulnerable. And I also have younger children. Also have a wife that I care deeply about.
I want to keep everyone safe as well as myself.
Not only myself, but my family, my wife, my children, and my congregation.
I thought it would be a good opportunity to keep others safe as well as my family.
In order to be safe and to maintain safety for the people I care about, I needed to get the shot.
I think it's important for all of us to kind of take care of each other as well as ourselves.
It's important to our community, it's important to our family, it's important to the world.
To do my part for us to get past this pandemic as a community.
I was skeptical about it at first. Yes, I was one of the ones that created this as a joke when this first came out. But then I started to see family, friends, people that I knew pass away from this horrible, horrible disease. Please, it is something real. Get it done.
It's important for people that are Black and brown to understand the importance of being vaccinated. It's important for you to know that being vaccinated means that you're showing your care and your love for your family members, because you interface with them on such a regular basis, your neighbors, and of course, everybody else in the community. As a pastor of a church, I'm very excited about that, because it also means that we will be able to reopen our doors for in-person worship.
I want to be a part of the solution to make sure that we are able to get back to a place where we can all come together and share and love on one another.
Show us the way. Action, advocates for action. Show us the way. You're showing us the way.
You've been listening to Evanston Cradle to Career, Advocates for Action on Radio La Difference. Please stay tuned for the next series coming up in August. Thank you. Now stay tuned for your Saturday morning jam until 12 noon.
Advocates for action. Showing us the way. Showing us the way. Advocates for action. Advocates for action. Showing us the way. Showing us the way. You're showing us the way. You're showing us the way. You're showing us the way.
You're listening to Radio La Difference.